Mic check. Mic check 1, 2. What's up, beautiful people? BTC Backpacker here, again with another video. And man, it is gloomy today. It's like this overcast, light, misty rain / fog, light breeze, little chilly. But you know, that's not gonna stop us from making a video today. It's been a very crazy week. But you know, that's to come, that's expected because we're a Bitcoin family. We got things going on. Our lives are crazy and chaotic, but it's a beautiful chaos. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. But man, it'll test you. Boy, having kids will test you, and that's okay. That's the way it works. But we keep on moving on. We keep on progressing forward, living our life, being good people, and stacking sats every day. And beautiful morning today. We started off by making our kefir and for our gut health. So we racked that, got that going. Had a couple of nice size glasses of that today, and extremely healthy. Yogurt, it has nothing on kefir. And I did put a post on that on my Noster, so you guys can go check that out. We also, and I say we as if I'm the one doing it, but it's not me, and you guys know that is Fanny Packer, and she's over there making beef tallow. We bartered with a neighbor, and so he gave us some beef fat, so we're rendering that down, and Fanny's got that going, and we'll be throwing that video together. That will be on Noster. So you guys can check that out a little later. But in the meantime, we're here and we're talking and we're walking. Man, I got some stuff to say, guys. I think I always have something to say. But it's good. This one might be a little all over. I got quite a bit of stuff I want to get out there, but we're going to try to keep it organized. As you guys know, this is not just a Bitcoin channel. This is a life, family, Bitcoin channel. We talk a little bit about everything, and because Bitcoin ties into everything. But we're trying to be the best versions of us. We're trying to be better today than we were yesterday. Loved ones, share love, give love, right? So this piece right here is a little bit of a photography metaphor. For those of you who don't know, I've been into photography for many years, and it's a hobby of mine. I keep it as a hobby. I enjoy doing it. I decompress and I'm able to go take photos, and it's just something I really enjoy doing. And so you look at your life in black and white, okay? When you're doing street photography, you photograph people. You can do color or you can do black and white. A photographer once said, and I don't remember his name, but he says when you photograph in color, you're photographing the noise. But when you photograph people in black and white, you're photographing their souls. Okay? How do we bridge that, or how does that tie into life? Well, we need to look at our life more in black and white. Like this. Hey, look it, we're in black and white. No, we need to look at our life in black and white because color is distraction. Black and white is kind of, you're really focusing on an endpoint or something you want to achieve. You're focusing on relationships, you're focusing on community, you focus on love, focus on family, okay? I call that black and white because you're focusing on the things that matter. Color is noise. Color is everywhere. Now, we're trained to think, yes, when we see color, you see beauty, and I don't want to mitigate that and say that's not true. But when you think about life in black and white, photography in black and white, there's just a moodiness to it. There's a feeling to it that's just a lot different. It hits different than color. Okay. Now I know that may be a little deep for most, but give it some thought. Give it some thought. You know, and as you all well know, I'm Buddhist. So is Fanny and the kids. For the most part, we practice a lot of Buddhism in our life. And you know, when we get older and we die, or we're on our deathbed or whatever, we're not wishing, like I said, and I said this in past videos, we're not wishing for those items, those things, those possessions, you know, to come with us. We can't take them with us. We're not saying like, you know, I should have bought that Lamborghini and you know, I should have, you know, bought that third house and whatever. You're not saying that, guys. It's just not a thing. And I feel sorry for the people that do. I'm sure they're out there. You're wishing you had spent more time with your family, built more relationships, more connections, done things, went on these vacations, went on trips, took the leap to do something great, to do something you thought you would never do, but you were too scared to do it, you were too timid to do it, and now you're at an age where you're like, damn, I wish I did it. Okay? We need to take leaps of faith. We need to take risks because we only have this one life to live. Okay? When we buy Bitcoin, when we're stacking and we're preaching the Bitcoin gospel, you know, we're like, yeah, stack sats, that's great. You know, dips are gifts. All the great talking points. But what are you buying for? You buying for just yourself? You buying for generational wealth for your family members? Are you buying to do great things with other people for other people in the future? I mean, only you're going to be able to answer that. But most of us are not just buying just to buy because it's the cool, fun thing to do. We all individually have some form of, you know, journey or end game or end point that we want to achieve. So we need to not lose sight in that. Okay, I think it's really important that we remember, you know, the journey, you know, the end game, the end goal is great, but the journey along the way is even more important. You know, it's more important to just really focus on that. And so, you know, finding the beauty in the mundane. Okay, for those of you who don't know what that means, find beauty in the little things, like it could be a mailbox. Sounds weird. Find beauty in listening to this crow above me. It's life. It's nature. It's beautiful. It's beauty. It's beautiful. Okay. Find beauty in the little things in life. Find beauty in those little moments that when you're sitting inside of an office waiting for an appointment and you see this little child running back and forth to his mom. That's beauty. That's beautiful. Find beauty in watching an old couple cross the street holding hands. Find beauty in the cracks in the asphalt. Find beauty in nature. Find beauty in just looking up into the sky, because we always have a tendency of wanting to look down. Look up. Look at the sky. Look at the clouds. Find the beauty in this tree and these trees when they shed their leaves, and look at the structures of them, right? The story that tree has to tell. Find the beauty in life. It's just something that we can all really practice, and I think it's important for us to try to find the positive and understand that when we wake up every day, we are blessed. Denzel Washington said, if you have the opportunity to do this, and you have house slippers or a pair of shoes, put them under your bed, under your mattress, under something, so that way you need to bend down and grab those. Because you bending down, grabbing those, is going to humble you. And preferably when you just get out of bed, it's going to humble you, because you got to bend down, you got to move, you got to get down there and appreciate your body. Appreciate that you're able to actually physically do this, because there's going to be a day when all of us are going to have a hard time doing that. So don't take advantage of it today. That's why we focus on health. That's why we focus on self-audits. That's why we focus on being the best version of us. Okay. Something we do every day. We breathe. I woke up this morning and I took my first breath. How is that so? We take advantage of that so much. It's a beautiful thing. We took our first breath. Smell and touch. The beautiful smell of flowers, the beautiful smell of a home-cooked meal, the beautiful smell of a pie being baked. Don't take advantage of that. It's a beautiful thing. The smell of your neighbor cooking next door and you're like, damn, I want to go knock on that door and be like, hey, have we met yet? Right? It's a beautiful thing. It smells creation. It's creativity. Okay. And like I just talked about with sound, the sound of a train in the distance, the sound of birds chirping in the morning, the sound of crickets at night, right? And sometimes the pleasure of not hearing anything and being in a meditative state and just being present in the moment. Powerful. Powerful. This is going to ground us and help us and stop with all the negativity going on. Gosh, you guys, the world is crazy right now. We have the stuff in Mexico. We got Ukraine and Russia going on. We got our nations imploding in itself. Okay, we got Iran going on. We got people getting killed left and right. People are losing their lives. People's loved ones are being killed. Kids are being killed. Adults, women, parents, whoever, they are being killed. Death, chaos, destruction. It's not healthy for us to only be focusing on things like that because it's so easy to look at all the negative stuff, all the negative content out there. And we just have to we have to find compassion. We have to be humble. We have to be grateful and appreciative to what we have. And in order for any change to be made in this world, the change needs to be made within. And I know that's maybe cliche or you know, it's like thinking that the way I think is going to change everything. I don't necessarily think that, but I think when you have masses that can have a mindset and ideology to understand that the change is us. The change is us. There's evil out there. That's never going to change. But we have to fight those evil forces with self-change, self-progress, self-growth. Okay? It all starts with us. That's the same thing with Bitcoin. It all starts with us. We have to do our due diligence, right? To be Bitcoiners and to stack and learn and grow and educate ourselves because we know education is key. Now, we're going to go, we're going to change it up here a little bit and we're going to talk about the life we live now in the moment. We live in the US, some people live in Canada, wherever you live. Why do we have the mindset, for the most part, to feel like we are stuck where we are at because I'm in the union and I have to complete my 10 years and I'm in a job that pays so much money and my family and my friends and my parents live here and whatever, every excuse. I have a home here, whatever, right? I get it. It's true. It's real life stuff. And everybody's different. This might rub people the wrong way, but I'm just saying, I think that you need to take control of your life and not allow other individuals to control your life. You need to have positive people in your life. You need to understand that the things you do in your life may affect other people, but it's not their life, it's your life. Okay? For those of you who don't know, Fanny and I have discussed about going to Thailand for quite some years. Probably even longer than I've actually been a Bitcoiner. You know what, that's true. It's been longer before Bitcoin, pre-Bitcoin. It's looking more and more promising. I get the American dream. I get you can make the money here and then the potential as an American to grow and do fantastic things here. Because I think America does have lots of opportunity. But I don't think that America is where you have to be forever for the rest of your life. Digital nomads, staying with visas. There's multiple types of visas. We're not going to get into that in other countries. Some are harder than others. Thailand is very accepting to the U.S. passport, along with getting a visa there at this moment in time is not very difficult. If you think you're going to go there and just be a bum on the streets, I don't think that's really going to happen, because they do a vetting process, and they're going to look into like, okay, so when you come here, what are you going to be doing? You know, how much money do you have? You know, because they're going to check you things like your bank accounts and stuff like that. They're going to want to see what assets you have. They want to see and make sure you're not just come over here and just going to be a bum, right? You're going to go infiltrate their company or their country and, you know, turn it into a hellhole. So I respect that. There's a process, but the quality of life here in America is not the best, guys. It's really not. You have states and governors and all this stuff that try to tell you what you can and can't do. The taxation here is horrible. It's freaking absolute theft. Our dollar goes further in Southeast Asia. The homeschooling, depending on where you're at here in the United States, being in Idaho, we have a great homeschool state. So I don't have that issue here. But you're not required to have to send your kid to school to go and whatever, have someone else raise them, essentially, because I believe that's what school is. And if you don't believe me, I'm sorry to inform you, you are sending your child to an indoctrination training center. I just don't think the United States is where it's at. I think Southeast Asia, in particular Thailand, there's certain parts of Thailand that have fantastic things to offer, a great lifestyle. There's great mindset there. There's great food there. The weather's fantastic all year round. Okay, minimalism is so important. We live minimalistic here. So for us to adapt over to Thailand and Asia, where they believe that materialistic things are just things, because people are more important than things, as we teach our little ones. Not overly specific, just throwing it out there. Moving abroad is definitely becoming a thing. It's been a thing for quite some time, but I'll speak for myself and my family and a couple really good friends of mine. You guys know who you are. I think it needs to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to happen to just explore life. Guys, we have one life to live. We're going to be in the same city, the same state, doing the same thing with the same ideologies and the same corruption. We need to travel. We need to explore. We need to not be stagnant. We need to grow. We need to expand our mindsets and understand that there's different cultures and lifestyles out there that are so beautiful. So many good people. I'm not a believer that you go to school for the 12 years and then you go to college for 4 and then you get some I feel like it's like a fake ass paper to feel like you've achieved something in life. I'm just not a believer of it. I'm not saying that you can't go to college and do well for yourself and get a degree and get paid and do good and everything. That's fantastic. Right on. I'm happy for you. You know, take your debt. You can have your debt, probably still paying it off, whatever. If that makes you happy, I'm happy for you, I guess. But it definitely didn't make me happy. I tipped my toe inside of college and I said, hell, I'm done with this. I'm not doing it. Didn't care for the school system when I did public schooling. I didn't care for it. I look back at it now as an adult and I'm thinking, what did I do in my life? Yeah, I learned a lot. But no, I'm not doing that with my kids. It's so important to learn social skills. Your parents raise you. Your parents are going to guide you. Your parents are going to show you, obviously my parents didn't do that. But maybe that's another reason why I hit on it so hard, because, I came from a broken home and I knew what I wanted and I knew what I want now as an adult. And I said, man, I need to give that to my kids because I've lived it. I just don't think that's the way. I don't think being okay, guys, go to college and go take out some debt and go, do a 4 to 7 year whatever. And I just don't think that's the way. I know that's not the way. And it's personal, subjective to most people, but I'm not gonna do that to my kids. And I want my kids to see things, and I want my kids to understand that there's so much beauty out in this world. And so, yeah, we're gonna be we have a, I guess you would say, a goal. I'm not gonna put a time frame on it at the moment. We kind of know what it is. Well, we have a goal, and we'll be documenting the journey. And it's not going to be today or tomorrow, but it's definitely something that we really want to do. And we just need to take the leap of faith. We need to understand that failing isn't bad, because we learn. And some people are like, well, what if, Bitcoin doesn't work or this and that? Then if Bitcoin doesn't work, then it doesn't work. If Bitcoin failed tomorrow, then it failed. I still am not going to change my mindset and having any trust within the system of corruption. That's never going to change. Does it still mean that I'll live here in the United States? Because my dollar is still going to go further abroad. So we pivot and we ebb and flow through life. And the main thing is not staying stagnant. Don't be afraid to take risks. Understand that it's important to have short, medium, and long-term goals. And small changes in our life lead to great habit building and growth. So, yeah, man, it's interesting times when don't allow this negativity going on in the world to consume you. Be in the know, see what's going on, stand on what you stand on. Say what you need to say. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't allow the system to consume you, because you have to keep a level head. You got to keep a good mindset to keep on progressing forward, and be humble, and not like be humble success. Nope. Just be a humble, good, genuine person. And don't always look at people, and sometimes it's hard to do, but don't always look at people in a negative mindset. Just always don't project on people, self-reflect. You do it all internally, and then you project positivity outward. It'll pay back dividends in your life. So anyways, BTC Backpacker here. I'm talking my stuff on this gloomy day. I got my friend the Crow up here. He's probably laughing at me for some reason. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's doing a mating call. I don't know. Anyways, BTC Backpacker here. Love talking with you guys. Comment below, share the stream. And if you guys want to find me on my socials, you can find me at BTC Backpacker or Bitcoin Backpacker on Nostr. And until the next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.